Welcome, fellow weebs, casuals, and that one guy who only watches One Piece for the fights. Today, we're diving headfirst into a tsunami of pure eyeball ecstasy. The top 10 anime with mind-blowing visuals. These aren't your grandma's cartoons. These shows are so drop-dead gorgeous, they could make your PC explode just from the wallpapers. Whether it's sakura petals in slow motion, sword slashes that light up the sky, or that one moment where you pause and whisper, "Dang, this frame is wallpaper material." This list has it all. Oh, and we're keeping it spicy, so grab your instant ramen, pet your anime body pillow for luck, and get ready for a visual feast that'll make your corneas twerk. Let's roll the tape. Starting the list with number 10, we have The Elusive Samurai Stealth, Speed, and Shonen Sauce on feudal Japan. The Elusive Samurai is the anime that asked, what if our protagonist's main power was not dying extremely fast? And the answer: a stealthy, stylish, visually fire sprint through medieval Japan, animated like a calligraphy brush fight during an earthquake. Adapted from the manga by Yusei Matsui, yes, the mastermind behind Assassination Classroom, this series combines historical facts with shonen ridiculous, and it slaps harder than a sandal to the face. Let's talk visuals. This thing is smooth like a ninja moonwalking through history. The animation captures speed in a way that feels illegal. Every evasive move from our boy Hojo Tokiyuki has more motion blur than your PS5 during a cutscene. He jukes death like it's a dodgeball match, and it looks stunning. The backgrounds? Museum exhibit level. You've got misty temples, burning castles, cherry blossoms floating through chaos, and brushstroke transitions that look ripped from a woodblock painting. It's like old Japan got upgraded with RTXON, and the character design? Chef's kiss. Tokiyuki is peak, trauma-powered escape artist. His hair? Windswept by destiny. His eyes? Constantly calculating the best route to not get stabbed. Every supporting character feels like they came from a different anime genre, and somehow it works. There's a priest with prophecy vibes, a bloodthirsty archer girl, and more questionable mentors than a shonen protagonist should legally be allowed. The fight scenes? Less brute force, more elegant chaos. Imagine if Usain Bolt starred in a samurai anime. That's the vibe. It's tactical, snappy, and stylized to the gods. Speed trails, wide-angle dodges, and motion that turns every chase into visual poetry. Also, shout out to the villain facial animation. Never has a smirk looked so punchable and beautifully drawn. Everyone is either way too dramatic or way too smug, and we are here for it. The Elusive Samurai proves you don't need to throw hands to win a war. You just need to look cooler dodging than they do attacking. Watch it if you love historical drama, insane animation flexes, and protagonists who survive by vibe, speed, and just the right amount of plot armor. On number 9, we placed Redline, Speed, Sweat, and 100,000 Frames of Insanity. Welcome to Redline, the anime that overdosed on adrenaline, snorted gasoline, and fist-bumped a supernova. This isn't just a racing movie, it's a visual explosion that eats gravity for breakfast and asks zero questions. Made by Madhouse Studios and taking 7 years to hand-draw, yes, hand-draw, let that marinate. Redline is what happens when you dare animators to go too hard. And they say, bet. Every frame is dripping in sweat, oil, and enough detail to crash your eyeball. There are over 100,000 hand-drawn frames in this movie. 100,000. For context, that's like animating your nightmares, dreams, and hallucinations simultaneously on a caffeine IV drip. The story? Who cares? It's racing in space on a war-torn planet with booby-trapped roads, sentient military robots, and a biomutant crab monster with parental issues. Your main dude is JP, a pompadoured speed freak with no chill and literally zero regard for brake pedal. He drives like the laws of motion are personal suggestion. And the visuals? Sweet mother of hype. Every race sequence is animated like the universe is about to implode from how cool it looks. Cars flip, engines burst, and you can feel the G-force in your teeth. The animation doesn't just move, it slams. It pulses. It wiggles your cerebellum. The art style is pure chaos candy. Chunky lines, exaggerated everything, speed lines on top of speed line, and more onomatopoeia than a 90s comic book. The characters all look like rejected Street Fighter bosses, and we love them for it. There's even a dude who turns into a literal transformer mid-race because, you know, reasons. Also, the soundtrack? Chef's kiss. It's like Daft Punk and a V12 engine had a techno baby raised on synthwave and NOS. Pure pump-up bliss. Redline isn't just anime. It's illegal animation street racing. It's style over sense in the best way possible. It's what happens when animators go completely unhinged, and we get blessed by it. Watch it if you crave speed, chaos, and want to see your screen melt from pure, unfiltered hype. On number 8, The Garden of Words. Rain never looked so sexy, honestly. The Garden of Words is not just a movie, it's a vibe, a mood. A 46-minute spiritual awakening sponsored by rain and unresolved feelings. Directed by Shinkai, Mr. My Sky has more emotions than I do. Makoto. This film is the visual equivalent of a lo-fi playlist with your soul in it. Let's talk about the animation first because, holy, actual wetness. The rain in this movie is so pretty, it should have its own IMDb page. Every single drop looks handcrafted by a divine barista, specializing in liquid emotion. Waterfalls, puddles ripple, shoes squish, everything is animated in glorious 4K heartbreak. And the greenery? Don't even get me started. The park these two characters meet in looks like the Garden of Eden if Eden got a studio lighting upgrade. And speaking of characters, we've got Takao, a 15-year-old aspiring shoe designer, yes really, and Yukino, a mysterious older woman who eats chocolate and drinks beer for breakfast. They meet in the rain. They share awkward silences. They bond over shoes. It's all deeply poetic, but also vaguely suspicious. And somehow it works. The facial animation? Insane. Every blink, breath, and lip tremble is animated like it's auditioning for Best Supporting Tear. And the shoes? Oh, honey. The shoemaking scenes go harder than most shonen fights. Watching him sketch and stitch leather feels like ASMR for your eyeball. And yet, despite all the breathtaking beauty, this film hurt. Not in the someone died way, but in the this is emotionally too real for a Tuesday afternoon kind of way. It's about age gaps, life gaps, and the type of connection that's maybe too fleeting to label, but too real to ignore. Also, yes, it ends with a poetic monologue in the rain, because of course it does. This film was engineered to make you reflect on your life, your crushes, and whether or not you've ever truly appreciated a thunderstorm. Watch it if you love rain, melancholy vibes, foot-focused art, and crying because two people looked at each other too meaningfully under a gazebo. Now on number 7, we placed Angel's Egg. Aesthetic depression the anime. Welcome to Angel's Egg, the anime that whispered, plot? Dialogue? Nah, we're going full symbolic dream state. Directed by Mamoru Oshii of Ghost in the Shell fame, and art designed by the literal wizard Yoshitaka Amano, this 1985 cult classic is pure, undiluted aesthetic existentialism. This film has more mystery than your last 3 relationship texts combined. Here's the basic premise. Sorta. There's a girl, she carries an egg. There's a man, he asks questions. The world? A post-apocalyptic cathedral nightmare made of shadows, relics, and abandoned faith. And yes, that's all you're getting. The rest is a mood marathon. But let's talk visuals, because OH, my, melancholy, feely eye. Every frame is a gothic painting come to life, dark, textured, and so atmospheric you can almost smell the holy water and dust. Rain falls in soft, endless sheets. Statues loom in silence. Architecture curves like ancient cathedrals melting into shadow. If H.R. Giger and Studio Ghibli had a baby, then made it sad and gave it a candle, it would look like Angel's Egg. The animation? Slow. Intentionally. Hypnotically. Characters barely speak. Movements are minimal but loaded with weight. Meaning, and that one weird dream you had where you were lost in a museum after the rapture. And the symbolism? Through the roof. Eggs, birds, fish, faith, memory, time, sacrifice. Every visual element screams, interpret me, while also refusing to explain itself. It's like Dark Souls, but with less violence and more theology. Even the color palette hits different. Deep blues, muted purples, black shadows that go on forever. Light is sacred. Darkness is crushing. Every illuminated surface feels earned. Watching Angel's Egg is like falling asleep in an abandoned church, waking up and realizing the stained glass windows are watching you back. Peksuman, it's not for everyone. But if you love visuals that speak louder than words, if you're into slow burn surrealism and hauntingly gorgeous despair, Angel's Egg is your holy grail. Watch it if you vibe with sadness, love long silences, and want your anime to double as an abstract art exhibit that messes with your soul. On number 6, Made in Abyss, cute art style, horrifying trauma-packed DLC. Alright, picture this. Adorable chibi kids with wobbly heads and big sparkly eyes, living in a whimsical world full of relics and ancient ruins. Looks cozy, right? Wrong. Made in Abyss is the anime equivalent of a teddy bear with a grenade inside. Don't let the soft lines and Studio Ghibli-esque charm fool you. This show will emotionally body slam you into the abyss and make it look gorgeous while doing it. Visually, this anime is Chef's Kiss X1000. The abyss itself is an art piece. Every layer is a new biome from a fantasy JRPG fever dream. Glowing plants, upside-down forests, giant monster noodles, bioluminescent fish that probably want to eat your soul. It's both terrifying and breathtaking. Like a nature documentary hosted by Satan, animated by Angel. And the lighting? Bro, it's like someone dipped every frame in liquid gold and then sprinkled paint on top. Sunbeams pierce through the dense foliage. Water sparkles with heavenly shimmer. Even the air feels textured. If air could be pretty, this anime did it. Dale. But then the horror hits. And it hits hard. I'm talking body horror, emotional torment, and philosophical dread wrapped in pastel cuteness. One moment you're saying, "Oh, Rico is such a curious little bean," and the next you're sobbing into your ramen like, "Why is this happening to her?" The contrast between the visuals and the content is elite-level emotional gaslighting. You see cuddly characters in a candy-colored world, then bam, trauma, pain, existential despair. The animation doesn't even flinch. It just makes the suffering look studio-quality gorgeous. Reg's laser arm? Insanely well animated. Nanachi's fur? You want to pet the screen. Midi. Oh god. Midi, prepare your soul. Her arc will break you, then stomp the remains in 60 FPS. Made in Abyss is a paradox. The cuter it looks, the more likely it is to emotionally eviscerate you. Watch it if you like beautiful scenery, emotional trauma, and anime that turns you into a husk of your former self, with sparkles. Up next on number 5, we got Paprika. Inception walked so this could run in heels. Okay, before Inception made spinning tops a personality trait, Paprika was out here drop-kicking reality into a blender and serving it with whipped cream and a side of existential dread. Directed by the absolute GOAT Satoshi Kon, R.I.P. legend. Paprika is what happens when your REM sleep gets a movie deal. It's trippy, it's wild, it's animated chaos jazz, and it is visually delicious. This movie opens up with a circus dream, and it only gets weirder. We're talking parade floats with doll heads, anthropomorphic refrigerators doing parkour, and a guy literally turning into pixels. You don't watch Paprika, you experience it, preferably at 3 a.m., with zero context and snacks that crunch loud enough to bring you back to earth. The animation? OHBOY. It's buttery smooth, fever dream animation. Scenes morph in real time like your imagination took a Red Bull. Characters phase through dimensions like they're on speedrun mode. One minute you're in an elevator, the next you're a CGI butterfly flying through a clown's trumpet. And somehow, it all makes sense. Emotionally. Kinda. The transitions are so seamless, you'll think your screen is possessed. Walls peel away into highways. People dissolve into jellyfish. A literal office chair tries to kill someone. It's like Pixar, Studio Ghibli, and The Twilight Zone had an artistic baby and gave it a Wacom tablet. And Paprika herself? Iconic. She's the dream alter ego of the real-world Dr. Chiba. And she's got more charisma in her pinky toe than 90% of anime protagonists have in their entire harem. Her expressions? Unmatched. Her vibe? Chaos and comfort wrapped in a cosplay-ready outfit. Plot-wise, just know. Dreams are being invaded, reality's getting shredded, and somewhere in the mess, you're deeply emotional for reasons you can't explain. And yes, Inception borrowed big time. Paprika walked so Leo DiCaprio could brood in a dream hallway. Watch it if you love brain puzzles, aesthetics, and yelling, "What is happening?" every 5 minutes, while still being impressed. Now on number 4, we have Akira, the anime that time traveled from the future. Before you were crying over sakura petals in slow motion, before Ufotable made swords look like fireworks, Akira was out here melting brains and cities back in 1988, and it still slaps harder than a telekinetic tantrum. This movie isn't just anime history, it's anime prophecy. It predicted the vibes of the 2020s decades before we were born to experience them in full HD Neo Tokyo. That gritty, neon-drenched chaos, it's the blueprint for every cyberpunk city you've ever simped for. Let's talk animation. Akira had over 160,000 individual animation cells, hand-drawn, frame by glorious frame. In an era where cartoons moved like cardboard cutouts, Akira rolled in with fluid motion smoother than your favorite VTuber's debut. Light reflections, facial twitches, bike physics. It's also crispy. You can practically smell the oil on Kaneda's red bike. And that bike, THO. Kaneda's bike is so iconic, it has merch, tattoos, and possibly its own passport. The animation of that red beauty drifting through ruined highways? Fire. It's been parodied everywhere from South Park to Nope to your cousin's YouTube AMV. Also, shout out to the psychic goo nightmare fuel that is Tetsuo. Man starts as your angsty B-tier friend and ends up as a literal galaxy-brained flesh kaiju. Every frame of his evolution is grotesquely stunning, like Salvador Dali was hired to animate your anxiety. And the explosion at the end? Phew, that wasn't just an explosion. That was an event. That was the universe sneezing in 70mm. Visually, this film doesn't age. It just grows more majestic and menacing. Every time you rewatch it, you catch another detail. Like, hey, that building's collapse had weight physics. Or, wow, this blood spray was animated with love. Akira didn't just set the bar. It is the bar. It's the anime that made the West go, yo, Japan's been cooking. Watch it if you like explosion, motorcycles, psychic freakouts, or just want to say you've seen the anime that defined all anime. On number 3, Land of the Lustrous, 3D animation's glow-up moment. Ah yes, Land of the Lustrous. The anime that took one look at the haters screaming, CGI sucks, and calmly whispered, hold my Gemda. This isn't your uncle's awkward polygon fest from early 2000s anime. No sir, this is 3D animation that pulled up in a crystal limousine, sparkling like Beyonce at a Super Bowl halftime show. The character designs? Ethereal. The colors? Shimmering like a freshly waxed opal. The hair physics? Exquisite. Like someone coded in shampoo commercials as a render setting. Each character is a living, breathing gemstone, and their movements are so smooth it's like you're watching ballet on zero-gravity moondust. Foss, our chaotic gem gremlin of a protagonist, is a walking serotonin boost wrapped in existential dread and shimmery chaos. She trips, she flops, she philosophizes, she glows. And the camera work? It spins and swoops and zooms like it's auditioning for the Fast and Furious franchise. If Fast and Furious starred Senshi and Quartz, and the backgrounds? Think Alien Dreamscape meets art museum. It's minimalist, but make it fashion. You'll sit there staring at empty grass plains like, why do I feel emotionally connected to this moss? Now, plot-wise, it's all vibes and metaphysics. Gems versus moon people, who look like they walked off a Buddhist-themed Vogue photo shoot. The enemies literally sparkle mid-battle. Even the fights look like a Fabergé egg exploded in slow motion. It's hypnotic, it's weird, it's deeply satisfying. Ta. Also, bonus points for delivering massive emotional gut punches using stone-faced characters who literally can't cry. That's right, no tear ducts, only silence. Existential terror, and extremely well-lit despair. Watching Land of the Lustrous is like licking a holographic sticker while contemplating your purpose in life. It's art, it's weird, it's perfect. Wait, and best of all, it made CGI cool. Like, legitimately cool. It flipped the script, bedazzled it, and handed it back with a wink. Cool. Watch it if you love philosophy, shiny things, and anime that feels like an existential TED Talk wrapped in glitter. Up next on number 2, Demon Slayer, the anime that made fire cool again. Okay, listen, Demon Slayer didn't just raise the bar, it drop-kicked the animation industry into the sun. The moment Tanjiro whipped out his water breathing in episode 19, the anime world collectively said, okay, we're gonna need a moment. This series is so stupidly pretty, you could pause any random frame and get a tattoo-worthy masterpiece. Ufotable didn't animate this, they cast an actual spell. And you can tell they're flexing, because every fight is a full-blown cinematic event. Explosions of neon ink, elegant sword trails, dramatic camera angles that make Christopher Nolan go, yo, chill. Let's talk about fire. No, not just literal fire, metaphorical fire. Tanjiro's fire god dance? That move melted brains across 7 dimensions. The flames swirl like a Van Gogh painting high on caffeine. It's not just animation, it's visual poetry that uppercuts your soul. And Nezuko? Bro. Every time she does anything, the screen turns into a Lisa Frank fever dream with blood and sparkle. Even her demon kicks are aesthetically pleasing. You ever seen a flying roundhouse kick look like it belongs in a fashion magazine? Now you have. The backgrounds? Literal art gallery stuff. Forests shimmer, snowflakes glisten. Mugen Train glows like a rave train on emotional steroids. And don't even get me started on the demon's powers. Every single one looks like an avant-garde music video produced by Studio Lou. Also, let's respect how Demon Slayer makes crying look cool. Tanjiro doesn't just cry, he aesthetically sobs. Every tear is animated like a Pixar short. The sadness is in 4K. Dolby Atmos sniffles. Bring tissues, preferably the extra plush kind. And the animation budget? Scientists are still trying to calculate it. They might have powered the whole production using Nezuko's internal cuteness reactor. Economists are baffled. In short, Demon Slayer is anime crack. It's stylish, it's emotional, it's got big drip energy, and it made anime mainstream again, thanks to visual fireworks that say, we didn't have to go this hard, but we did. Watch it if you enjoy sword fights, crying pretty, or yelling, Hinakami Kagura, in your living room at 2 a.m. Finally, at the top of the list on number 1, Violet Evergarden Tears Per Pixel Edition. Imagine Studio Ghibli and your feelings had a baby. That baby grew up, got a scholarship to Kyoto Animation University, graduated top of the class with honors in emotional devastation and aesthetics, and made Violet Evergarden. This anime isn't just a show, it's a watercolor symphony of pain. The visuals are so pristine, you'll start questioning why the real world doesn't look this good. The lighting? Divine. The character design? Immaculate. The backgrounds? Hand-painted by cherubs on a sugar high. Violet's eyes alone deserve their own art exhibit. They shimmer with 4K sadness and existential dread. Every blink she does is like a poem to the void. She could side-eye a rock, and the rock would cry. Her metal arms? More graceful than ballerinas, doing pirouettes in slow motion. Every movement is animated with the kind of love and detail you usually reserve for firstborn children and limited edition figurine. And the letters? Oh, the letters. Watching Violet write them feels like watching Bob Ross painting with his feeling. Each epistle is dipped in melancholy, sealed with tragedy, and delivered in a tear-soaked envelope. Even tea time is cinematic. You think she's just sipping Earl Grey. Nah, fam. That's a full-on emotional monsoon in 24 frames per second. You could pause any frame and use it as a desktop background, motivational poster, or breakup meme. The narrative is pretty much a feel things or die simulator. Each episode picks a new emotional wound to reopen, polishes it with dazzling visuals, then slaps a bow on it and says, enjoy the pain. By episode 10, you'll be sobbing into a pillow embroidered with, I'm fine, and you're not. You're really not. Koro. If visual beauty had a name, it'd be Violet Evergarden. It's not just anime, it's a high-res existential crisis, a pastel-hued gut punch, a gentle slap with a lace glove soaked in nostalgia and heartbreak. Watch it if you love art, emotions, or staring out rainy windows wondering what love is. And there you have it, folks. 10 anime so visually insane they should come with a do not operate heavy machinery warning. Whether it was rain that made you reflect on your failed situationships, the garden of words, cosmic street racing at illegal speeds, redline, or an egg that unlocked your repressed existential dread, angel's egg, your eyes have officially been blessed, burned, baptized. If your jaw hit the floor at least once during this video, congrats! You're now legally required to go binge watch at least 3 of these tonight. Don't argue. It's visual law. Drop a comment below. Which of these anime melted your eyeballs the hardest? Which one made you go, wait, what even is reality? And which one are you adding to your watch list while you eat cold ramen at 3 a.m.? Smash that like button like it owes you rent. Subscribe for more anime content that goes unnecessarily hard, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another moment of chaotic brilliance from yours truly. Until next time, stay hydrated, stay animated, and remember, if it doesn't make your screen sweat, is it even real anime? Peace, love, and perfectly looped Sakura petals.